EDM 60204 Measurement and Geometry, Week 7 Lecture, Part 1. Introduction to 2D, 3D shapes, and nets. Let's look at 2D shapes. The learning objectives. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to number 1, identify the shapes as a whole. Number 2, explain the properties of 2D shapes. Number 3, differentiate between the regular and irregular 2D shapes. And number 4, find the relationships between all polygons. Let's start by asking this question. What are 2D shapes? Now, 2D shapes actually means 2 dimensions, and the 2 dimensions are length and width. The 2D shapes are flat and are made up of straight lines or line segments. All lines or line segments are closed, as you can see in this illustration. So you can see length at the bottom there, and also width on the right hand side. Now, 2D shapes are made up of closed straight line segments. When 2D shapes are made up of many closed straight line segments, these are called sides. So when you have so many sides, then they are called polygons. Poly means many, and gon means sides. There's a spelling error there, not non, but gon, G-O-N. Examples of polygons are triangles, rectangles, squares, etc. Okay, the basic 2D shapes that most students will learn in their early lives will be triangle, square, rectangle, and circle. Now, their properties will be sides and vertices. As you can see here, we have triangle on the left, next to it is a square, next to the square is the rectangle, and the last one is a circle. Now, for triangles, you have 2 types of triangles. One is the left hand side and the other one is on the right hand side. Now, the left hand side is what we call as equilateral triangle, meaning that their sides have the same length. Now, the other one is a right angle triangle because it has a 90 degrees angle inside the triangle. So these 2 triangles, they have 3 straight sides and 3 vertices. Now, this is a rectangle. It has 4 straight sides and 4 vertices, as you can see here. This is a square, and squares also have 4 straight sides and 4 vertices. This is a circle. A circle has no straight sides and no vertices. Okay, let's look at the question. Is square a rectangle? State your reason and post your answer in the Padlet link. Okay, let's look at regular polygons versus irregular polygons, because this is very important when we are going to learn about patterns and tessellation. Okay, let's look at polygons. They are classified into 2. The first one is regular polygons and the second one is irregular polygons. So what are their properties? Will they be sharing the same properties or different properties? And how different are they from each other? Now let's look at regular polygons first. So what are the characteristics of regular polygons? What are their properties? So for regular polygons, each side is a regular polygon in a regular polygon is of equal length. Each angle in a regular polygon is of equal measure. So for example, in this case, you can see that it is an equilateral triangle where all the sides have the same length, and the angles that you can find inside the triangle will have the same degrees, will have the same equal measure. Now irregular shapes, they do not have equal sides and their length are not of equal measure. So they have the same number of sides as the regular polygons do. For example, this 2D shape with 6 sides, it is a hexagon, but it is an irregular hexagon. So on the left, if you count the sides, you will see that it contains 6 sides, but it is an irregular hexagon, because a regular hexagon would look like the one on your right hand side, which is green in color. Now a regular hexagon must have sides of equal length and angles of equal measures. So that will be the one on your right hand side. Okay, poly means many, gon means side. So you can see here, these are the 2 pictures which I took from these places. So on your left, those are regular polygons. On your right, those are irregular polygons. But when you count, when you count their sides, you will see that they have the same number as their regular polygons, except that they are irregular polygons. Now, polygons must be closed shape with straight line segments. Non-exemplars, sometimes we see this word. It means they are incomplete shapes of irregular polygons, and they are not closed, as you can see here in this diagram on the right hand side. Let's go to names of 2D shapes. Okay, we have the polygons here from the right to the left. Okay, so on top we have octagon, and then we have hexagon. Under octagon is pentagon, rhombus, rectangle, equilateral. Then we have the square, and then we have the trapezoid or trapezium. One is US and one is UK, and the other one is parallelogram. So we have a few types of triangles. We'll look at the one from the left to the right. We have equilateral triangle, then we have right angle triangle. We also have another type of right angle triangle which is slightly smaller or shorter. And then we have scalene and isosceles. The difference between scalene and isosceles is that in isosceles, they have 2 sides with the same length. Scalene does not have any sides with the same length. Quadrilateral. Okay, quad means 4, lateral will be the sides, so 4 sides. We'll start from the square, next to it rectangle, then we have rhombus, and then we have trapezoid or trapezium, and then parallelogram. Okay, in parallelogram, they must have at least a pair of sides that is parallel to each other. So we have the parallelogram at the bottom there. Then we have the rhombus. We also have rectangle, and we also have square under parallelogram. Alright, the next thing that we're going to look at will be relationship among 2D shapes. Okay, try this. You can work with your friend or you can work on your own. It depends on you. To draw this relationship between all polygons that we have just mentioned. So try to link them and try to find their relationship. So you need to draw a Venn diagram to show the relationship. It could be a small Venn diagram, it could be a large Venn diagram, so it's solely up to you to draw the Venn diagram. Now you need to find the relationship for all these 2D shapes. For all these 2D shapes: triangle, rectangle, square, rhombus, trapezoid or trapezium, parallelogram, pentagon, and hexagon. Now, our reference book, which we use all these years, is written by Haylock, and he did mention about how to teach 2D shapes in his book. Okay, so this is something that I took from his book. Children will develop geometric concepts by experiences of classifying, using various attributes of shapes, informally in the first instance, looking for exemplars and non-exemplars, and discussing the relationships between shapes in terms of sameness and differences. So this is the first thing that we should be thinking about when we design our lesson plan. The role of definition in teaching and learning is not to enable children to formulate a concept, but to sharpen it up once the concept has been formed informally through experience and discussion, and to deal with doubtful cases. Now, the main classes of 2D shapes. The first one is the first classification of 2D shapes should separate those with only straight edges from those with curved edges, for example circles. So we need to have two classes. One will be straight edges, the other one will be curved. The first one will be straight sides and the other one will be curved sides. A 2D closed shape made up entirely of straight edges is called a polygon. The straight edges are called sides. Polygons can be either classified depending on the number of sides. For example, triangle has 3 sides, quadrilaterals has 4 sides, pentagons 5 sides, hexagons 6 sides, heptagons 7 sides, and so on and so forth. Now they have 2 dimensions. Okay, this is 2D shapes in real world. They have 2 dimensions, length and width, and they are flat. They do not have any height. So when you as teachers want to create 2D shapes, please make sure that you don't use something that has thickness, that has height. It must be flat. You can use manila paper, you can use something that is hard, but as long as it is flat, where students cannot use their ruler to go and find the height. They are the basic shapes found in mathematics syllabus. Now in Singapore mathematics, the basic shapes are square, rectangle, triangle, and circle. Number of sides would be 3 sides, 4 sides, 5 sides, 6 sides, 7 sides, 8 sides, and so on and so forth. So 3 sides is triangle, 4 sides quadrilaterals, 5 sides pentagons, 6 sides hexagons, 7 sides heptagons, and 8 sides octagon, and then it goes on and on and on. So these are examples of real world materials which has 4 sides, and they are called quadrilateral. Okay, quadrilateral. And these are items that has 5 sides. They are called pentagon. These are 2D shapes with 6 sides. They are called hexagon. And you can see the beehive. It is hexagon. Okay, heptagon, 7 sides. Octagon, 8 sides. And that's it for part 1. Bye.